Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the fourth episode of the Council Forcecast. Yes, we have a name now. Congratulations to the people who suggested, firstly the Council, and secondly Forcecast. I can't recall off the top of my head, I apologise. I'll put a picture with a comment to my left. So, today we have, as always, Evan Nova.
Hello.
Jen Sarai.
How you doing?
Antoine Bandele.
Oh, I was trying to burp. I couldn't do it.
God damn it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Council is in session.
Oh, yeah.
Order in the court.
Today we're going to be talking about the trailer, but you already knew that. Let's be
Yes,
honest.
the teaser trailer that everybody is talking about.
Oh, yeah.
As they
Okay.
should be.
Oh,
So we're going to have initial reactions, but we have a special message from Matthew.
Yes,
Our
Great
president,
Jedi
Great
91,
Great Jedi 91 has
graciously
spoken.
sent us some messages. Unfortunately, he
He's
again
on.
couldn't be here with us.
he's online right now. Why don't we just call him?
Wait, is he really online?
Yeah. It's got his
Hey.
yellow symbol. Stay away, but yeah, he's here. He's online.
Okay.
I don't think he's not
shoot.
gonna.
We try?
He's not
Probably
gonna.
not.
Live contact here. Let's see.
That's
if we
okay.
can
We
get
won't do it. We won't do it. I'll just read his thing.
He wouldn't
okay,
send you
alright.
those
No, it's
emails
not-
if,
it's not
if
replying
he
to me.
was
That's
gonna
true.
show up.
He's not
All
replying
right,
to
cool.
me,
So here's
he's obviously
exactly what he
Okay,
says.
okay.
He says, you can officially announce that I'll be on the podcast at some point in the future. So that's awesome news.
Excellent.
I will say that I am optimistic after seeing this, just so you can share my opinion with the viewers. I don't like the lightsaber design. My favorite thing was the nostalgia from the iconic sound effects. At first, I thought that it was fan-made. It was a fan-made goof for the first 30 seconds or so, but the shot of the X-wings over the water and seeing the Falcon again won me over. To me, the sight of the Claymore-like saber with a hooded figure in the woods looked like a Skyrim mod. Not necessarily a bad thing, still. Don't really know what to expect, but I am optimistic. Those are my thoughts. Feel free to share this with the others and let the viewers know that I am in Oklahoma at the moment, just outside the Bible Belt region of space, and working for a company not unlike Oro from Bane's novels. Good luck, guys, and looking forward to the episode. We'll be on as soon as I'm able.
Excellent.
And that was his whole message.
Good news. The thing I picked up most from that is I completely agree with him. It was very fan made, or looked it from the start. Did you see the stormtrooper armor as he turns around? I swear that looked like it was fan made completely.
Agreed. It's like we all saw that other fan-made trailer, and
Yeah.
it's like in terms of quality, it's like there was no real difference between this and that. It's like, whereas let's say when you rewatch the Revenge of the Sith teaser trailer, there is no way you can mistake something like that for
No.
a fan-made thing. It looks the real deal, whereas this kind of doesn't.
It was
Like-
only the like you said, the X-wing and Falcon shots, which were amazing. That actually
Yes,
looked good.
great.
The perfect mesh between modern CGI and the grit.
Oh
of the
yeah,
original
that's
models in that.
They
in those
definitely
shots.
hit the nail on the head on that one.
It feels real looking at them. It doesn't look like
Mm-hmm.
CGI. It feels like yes, those are actual ships that are flying there, and with the whole exhaust noises
Mm-hmm.
and everything. It was wonderful.
But
I mean, I
it's like-
kind of attribute. Oh, sorry.
back to the fan made thing for a second though. It's like he said about the guy with the Claymore lightsaber in the snowy forest looking like a Skyrim mod. It's like even the effects on that lightsaber, they weren't bad, but they looked like something you would find in a fan film, not something you would find in an actual Star Wars
That
movie.
is something I think we will address later because I have a specific point about that lightsaber, but it's not something
Okay.
part of my initial reaction.
Yeah.
It
So
can
when I
wait.
first watched it, yeah, it's gonna wait, and I have a huge theory about why the lightsaber looks the way it does. Not the crazy design, but why it looks like it's crackling like that.
Yeah.
But yes, when I first watched it, like literally this morning, 7 o'clock, I timed it perfectly because I knew that since it was going to come out on the East Coast in theaters at 10, I was like, probably be on the West Coast at 7, and I was right. I woke up at the right time. When I first watched it, I was kind of like, oh, that's it. Like I wanted to see a little bit more. Like I didn't feel like I saw enough. And then I also thought I felt really bad when I saw that lightsaber. I was like, that feels something straight out of a fan film. That doesn't feel like Star Wars. It feels like someone who's like a fan of Star Wars making like some fan fiction, right? But then I started rewatching it throughout the day, and I started watching it with coworkers, and I started watching it with people, kind of watching it with an audience like you would in the theater. And I realized how much I actually enjoyed it when I got over my self-indulgence of, oh, that looks like a fan film, and that looks like bad. I was like, wow, this is actually it's an experience movie, and I feel like Star Wars is a huge experience movie that you have to have with people. And when I saw the reactions of other people and realizing, yeah, why do I have this stick in my butt? Like, why can I just enjoy it? And when I just like let it go, when I just like became one with the Force, I freaking like love the trailer. And now like when I watch it, the more I watch it, the more I love it, and the more excited I am for this series. Now we'll get into like specifics of why and all that kind of stuff. But like initially, I was like, oh god, this is not what I was expecting. It doesn't really feel like Star Wars. And then I started watching it more, and then I started appreciating JJ's camera movements, which are way better than anything George Lucas would have ever shot initially. He actually has way more creativity from what we're seeing so far. And yeah, I'm like super stoked now. Like I'm so down.
Yeah, it's actually interesting that you put it that way because my reaction was very much the same as yours. You know, I saw it for the first time in the morning. I felt like, I mean, this looks kind of fan filmish. It's a little cheap. I'm not sure where it's going with this. But then I watched it again, and then I watched it again, and then I watched it again, and I started thinking about it more and more, and I was like, yeah, I could get behind this because what we have to put into consideration here. First of all, it's a teaser trailer. The damn movie isn't coming out for another year. Which I'm actually still kind of surprised they released it this early. I think it's a little strange, but which relates also to the fan film thing, which we'll get into later. But I started, it's like Antoine said, like it really does feel like an experience. And I tell you what, I mean, despite how some of the shots looked, when they started playing that music and I saw the Falcon just blast off into space with the TIE fighters noises, just all those classic sounds. It was like I felt like I was like 7 again. It really felt like yes, this is Star Wars. But this isn't Star Wars maybe like I would have imagined when I was young. This is new. This is different, but it still harkens back to those old themes. And I really did feel like this is going somewhere. So yeah, and all like even with the camera angles, just some of those shots look amazing.
That Falcon shot in particular just blew the rest of the trailer out
when
of
it's
the
going
water.
up there, does that awesome flip with the TIE fighters. Oh, and then when you see the title go back and the Star Wars opens up, Force Awakens, and you hear the lightsabers and you see that classic stars in the background with the classic font, I was like, yes, this is
New
happening.
Star Wars. It's gonna be great.
And it's even
Yeah,
small things like
truly-
even when Boyega came into the shot and he just does like a slight movement to the left, like following his movement, like that. It's just really, really small things, which is more of like a filmmaking thing, I guess, like me and you, Evan, see. But like, it's just he does really small things that go a whole long way. Yeah.
Which is something I think we could kind of attribute to his TV career, because if you look at some of his Abrams' old TV work, he does kind of have that same sort of camera movement going. So I think we can kind of attribute that a bit. But yeah, it's just like it doesn't feel like you're just watching a movie for entertainment. No, you're having an actual experience with this, and that's what I feel. That's also something not only this movie but just Star Wars in general has always done so well. So I really do feel like that's what they're going for. They're not completely taking it in a new direction. Like, this is Star Wars, and it's just Star Wars with a fresh coat of paint. Because bear in mind, like, this movie isn't just for us. This movie is for everybody. When you make to a much wider audience than you are when you're making like a video game or a comic book or even a TV series. So if you were to show, like, I actually, I showed this trailer to my sister earlier today, who knows very little about Star Wars and isn't even that much of a sci-fi fan, but I asked her, does this feel like Star Wars? And she was like, yeah, it does. And I think that's where the strength of this teaser really comes into play. It feels like Star Wars, which is actually something I was worried that these films weren't going to do. I was afraid that they were going to just go into some completely random direction, maybe like in this universe, and just completely take it to a completely different place, kind of like, Aliens and Prometheus, which is still a good movie, by the way. But no, this is really harking back to those old age themes and those old age way of doing things. So that's really the strength of the piece, in my opinion. And
I like what you said about the paint. Like, it's like, it definitely is a Star Wars with a new coat of paint. But what I kind of felt is that paint was stinky the first time I smelled it, and then it set itself in, and then I was like, oh, look it's a nice blue. It's a nice blue. You have to wait.
You have to wait for the paint to dry.
You have to wait for the paint to dry, and when it dried for me, then I was like, wait a minute, I'm getting new Star Wars movies. I should be freaking stoked right now, and I am.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
It just kind of all came to me. I was like, it was like a revelation. I was like, do Star Wars movies, yeah.
And they
Like it's so funny because like for like months and months now we've been like, ooh, episode 7, it's being made, and we've just been like, yeah, episode 7, how many more months, low and so it's like, no, it's here, it's actually happening. And it was just like, oh damn, I like when that realization hit me, I was through the freaking roof.
I definitely have that excitement that you've got now, but I'm a lot more split on it, I think, because I completely agree. The Falcon, the X-Wings, all of the ship shots I loved. They were perfect. Perfect blend of old and new. They felt like they were the original models, but with a fresh coat of CGI paint, as you say.
Yeah.
It felt real. But the rest of it, I still can't get away from the fan-made stuff. It didn't feel like it was a professional film. It felt like they just splintered in different things, and the shot choices as well. One of my friends commented that the first shot, when the stormtrooper pops up and goes, that seemed like a really
scared the shit out of me.
That is
Yeah.
that is the first Star Wars shot that has been done since the end of the prequels, film-wise. Why start with that one? Why was it like look, a shock stormtrooper on Tatooine? It seemed like an odd choice.
It's meant to like give
J.J.
you history.
Abrams,
It's meant
But they couldn't have done
leave you
that any other
thinking.
way. The whole of the Star Wars mythos behind
I
it.
think
they
it was
couldn't
pretty
invoke
good.
mystery in a better way.
I liked it personally.
It brings up what kind of tone JJ is going to set, because he has that tone of like this mystery, just this landscape, what's happening in this landscape, and then boom, you have like this person coming in. That's like and that's just more sensibilities. That could be just a preference thing, and you either like JJ's sensibilities or you dislike his sensibilities, which you take it or leave it.
Well, you say about the tone and the whole mystery side of things, but is that what the trailer's going for? Because that was another problem I had with it. I didn't feel a general theme going between each of the shots. It kind of just looked like
The thing
random
I had the
clips
biggest
they
gripe
put
with-
together.
I had these are my two biggest gripe whenever I see the trailer. First one is obviously that lightsaber. That lightsaber is
Bizarre.
We'll talk about that. That's gonna have a whole thing of itself.
Oh, the whole section.
And the second thing that was kind of off, but then I got it explained to me, and I said, "Oh, yes, that works." Is the droid that felt like, because I thought the tone was very mysterious and like about like this very deep brooding voice that's like talking to us, and then we have like this like really like
Spinny droid.
which it took me a long time. I didn't realize that he was actually just on top of a ball. I thought that was like his wheel, and I was like, that's really weird. No, someone's like, no, he's on a ball, dude. He's like soccer ball, something like that.
It does look like a
"Oh,
football,
okay."
doesn't it?
But I think so. They put that in there for the younger people who are like watching it, and they're like, "Oh, we're watching this. I mean, this is for kids too. So hey, look, you have this little droid messing around, So I was like, I guess they put that in there for kids. But
I mean, the
whatever.
original trilogy had the mouse droid, so
That's true.
Yeah,
That's like
and
the
it
equivalent
did
of the
sound
Astro.
like it as well. There was definitely cool to that.
What about you, Connor? You've been silent for a bit.
I guess my point of view is still very much in the negative. I'm still kind of at the whole, it looks fan-made. I'm not yet into the one with the Force state thing. And it kind of all goes back to why I became a Star Wars fan. I didn't get into this racket for the movies. I got into this for the EU. So there's no pleasing me. So come to the dark side, damn it.
No, we need that though. We need every opinion. You can't just have one
Yes.
opinion. That's
No,
not a
no,
good
no.
podcast.
We
Everybody's just like,
appreciate.
oh,
So we have 2 positive, 1 mixed, and 1 against so far. Then
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Dark side, light side, gray.
I should be
Great
grey. He
Jedi.
should be grey.
What?
Jen's right. Should be the grey one, surely. We've flipped the scale.
All right, cool.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're gonna get into
It's-
specifics. Oh no, go ahead.
Let's
go
yeah,
ahead.
specifics then.
Yeah. I'm not really expecting all that much. I'm
Mhm.
still very ambivalent. It's like I'm
Yeah.
willing to give Abrams the benefit of the doubt,
Because he's
but
Abrams.
I'm meh. I don't really care that he's Abrams,
Meh.
but still, it's just the fact that I know we can say with certainty that this upcoming Star Wars movie will be good. But the question is whether or not it will actually be a great Star Wars movie, because it's like all I'm expecting really is Star Trek Into Darkness. Great visual
Ooh,
spectacle,
that's
but
cruel, man.
really light on plot. Like it's like this. The only other Abrams things that I'm really familiar with are his Star Trek movies, and I don't mind them, but I don't really like them either. There's not really much to them. It's just visual spectacle and a few good casting choices, and that's that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
actually,
Because I think
like,
it
yeah, I
looks
mean-
good for sure, but it hasn't proven itself to be great quite yet.
Yeah.
I-
Well, guys,
hasn't
we
transcended.
haven't seen the dang movie.
Yeah,
yet.
well, we'll wait for the